In Slaughter Swamp, a force known as the Rot gave rebirth to Cyrus Gold, a man murdered and dumped in the swamp a century earlier. Remembering only the old rhyme of Solomon Grundy, the enormous Hulk took it as his new name. Gifted with tremendous strength and unnatural resilience, he continued to rise after each defeat as an avatar of death itself. Solomon Grundy is a nearly unstoppable enforcer who favors brute force solutions. His passive is Born on a Monday. Upon death, Solomon Grundy becomes unattackable and untargetable for a short time. After dying, Solomon Grundy returns to life with full health and all non-ultimate skill cooldowns reset. He cannot receive healing and will deal reduced damage for a short duration or until he's killed again. Grundy rushes forward with CLOBBER, stopping at the first champion hit, dealing power damage and applying a slow. He smashes the nearby area with Crush, dealing power damage to affected enemies. Grundy gains additional move speed and immunity to slows with the March. While moving toward an enemy champion, the bonus move speed is increased. Additionally, his next basic attack will suppress the target champion, leaving them susceptible to enhanced versions of CLOBBER and Crush. With his enhanced CLOBBER, Grundy punches the target champion in a straight line, causing them to deal power damage to all enemy champions they pass through. If the target hits a wall, they stop and receive additional power damage. With enhanced Crush, he hurls the target skyward before pile driving them into the ground, dealing additional power damage and briefly knocking them down. His ultimate skill, Buried on a Sunday, causes him to ooze a noxious substance, which infects nearby enemies for a short duration. Infected enemies take a percentage of their maximum health as power damage each second, and infect other targets they come into contact with. Grundy also heals for a small percentage of his maximum health each second, which increases for each enemy infected. Solomon Grundy's potential for disabling and displacing enemy champions is extremely potent. In lane, it's important to partner with an ally who can take advantage of his crowd control potential. His skills themselves offer limited damage and prevent him from attacking while grappling, so having a teammate nearby is key. Be aware that while enhanced CLOBBER is great for displacing an enemy, it also deals no damage to the original champion unless they hit a wall. Think carefully about where and how you use it, whether into a group of enemies or towards your own turrets and teammates. Remember that CLOBBER can be used defensively too, creating a strong peel for a vulnerable ally. When jungling, start with Crush, followed by CLOBBER, for speedy clears with the March, making for short travel time between camps. Unlocking the March at level 3 will give you the complete toolkit to start initiating ganks in lane. In Coast City, Grundy is best played as a jungler, with his strong clears and solid initiation skills. Remember that the March isn't your only tool for closing distance. The forward rush from CLOBBER may put you close enough to an enemy to land an empowered Crush for maximum damage. On Gotham Divided, Grundy can be played as both an effective jungle and top lane champion. In top lane, the combination of CLOBBER followed by an empowered Crush makes for potent harassment. If your opponent aggroes your drones, use empowered Crush to hold them in place and force them to suffer additional damage. Similarly, if an enemy chooses to dive under a friendly tower, Grundy's crowd control and passive skill will consistently turn the tables in your favor. On Gotham Heights, the displacement from enhanced CLOBBER will have limited use, while enhanced Crush will be your bread and butter. Buried on a Sunday is invaluable when defending and assaulting capture points, as well as fighting over the orbital cannon. His unique stolen power is Solomon Grundy's super strength, which trades a reduced range with increased damage, which is great for initiating fights. Consider pairing this with surveillance cameras, psychic assault, or healing wave when laning. When jungling, Consume or Detonate are solid complements for faster clears and better sustain. Solomon Grundy needs to be in the thick of things to maximize his kit, so prioritize artifacts with defensive potential. Nil Cloak, paired with health vials, offer a safe start, while Atlantean Royal Seal bring a solid mix of health and power damage. Suit of Sorrows and Kryptonian War Armor are good defensive options. Cosmic Staff brings extra power damage to the table, and allows his skills to apply a dot to affected enemies. Fragment of Mogo synergizes well with Buried on Sunday, and should be included in every build. Bury your opponents every day of the week as Solomon Grundy.